Guess I told him all right.
I guess you told a lot of people.
At first I was afraid Charlie wouldn't build the boat.
But he did.
Yeah. But he was the only one on the river who would. Folks along the waterfront were afraid of Mr. Fulton's boat. Charlie's old boss, Regan, was the worst of them. He kept stirring up the men by telling them lies, and they'd lose all of their jobs. Oh, I knew there'd be trouble sooner or later, and then it came. Remember that night you and your uncle visited the boat?
Yes. Uncle had just gone aboard with Charlie. Robert was standing with me near the carriage.
I'm so glad you came down, Miss Livingston. Everything's going beautifully. The seams are all caulked, the stack's in place, and we'll set the boiler in place tomorrow morning.
Don't you ever think about anything else but the boat, Mr. Fulton?
Why, yes, of course, but, well, after all, the boat is the boat. You came down here tonight just to see the boat, didn't you? Well, didn't you?
Yes. You see, we were driving by, Uncle and I, and... If you're trying to make me admit I'm a bold, brazen hussy who dragged your elderly uncle all the way down here just to see you, Mr. Fulton, you're right. I did.
Miss Livingston.
People who kiss me usually call me Harriet.
Oh, Harriet.
And if you do that again, Mr. Fulton, I'll probably have to start calling you Robert.
Darling.
Charlie! Charlie! Mr. Fulton!
That's Pat.
Oh, Mr. Fulton, hurry.
What's wrong, Pat?
Oh, Regan's coming with a whole gang. There's a lot of them, more than 50. They're gonna smash up the boat.
Yes, I can see them, Robert.
Oh, if we only had some guns.
We can't fight a mob.
What's the trouble?
Regan and his gang.
I expected this.
Oh, they're inside the gates, Charlie.
Stand back, all of you. Let me handle this.
You keep out of this, Charlie.
What do you want, Regan?
They're going to launch a steamboat for you, Charlie. They'll make kindling wood out of it.
Smash out of pieces.
I expected you to try something like this, Regan, and I'm ready for you. That boat's loaded with gunpowder. You lay a hand on it, I'll blow you up, the lot of you, boat and all.
Good heavens.
If you think I'm bluffing, go up on that boat. Now listen, men. I know most of you. I've worked with you. What's this all about? Come on, speak up.
Well, it's this here steamboat, Charlie. It'll put us all out of work. It'll ruin shipbuilding.
We'll lose our job.
And what about us sailors? What we doing? There ain't no more sailing ships.
So that's the story Regan's been feeding you. Now listen, men. I'm not even sure this steamboat will run when we get it together. But if it does run, it'll be the greatest thing that ever happened to you and to me and this whole country. We're building this boat for the river traffic. River traffic, do you understand? Tell him, Mr. Fulton.
Charlie's right, man. There isn't any river traffic now because a boat can only go downstream and only when she's got the wind. If this steamboat works, it'll go upstream. Gas upstream. Wind or no wind. That means every little village on every little river will become a port. And every port means more jobs. They'll need more sailors, more stevedores.
I'm listening, Robert.
I tell you, man, America's just beginning to grow. And the only way it can grow is west. This steamboat of mine will open up...
Robert, look! The boat's on fire!
Oh, that's some of Regan's dirty work.
Wait! Come back! I was only bluffing. There isn't any gunpowder. Help us with the fire out. There's no gunpowder.
It's no use, Charlie. Those flames are spreading.
We've got to save the boiler. It'll take a year to get another one.
Only one way to do that. Cut away the cribbing blocks. Slide her down the launchway.
Hand me that axe.
Here, Robert.
What's that? The boat!
Well, she's launched all right.
Burned right down to the water's edge.
Well, after all, Mr. Fulton, you saved the boiler.
Yes. After all, I'm right back where I started from.
Then you've got to start and build again. You'll help, won't you, Uncle?
I wish I could, my dear. My friends and I have advanced all we can.
But we have other friends. I'll see them myself.
Sure. And I'll see some of my friends, too.
I'm afraid it's hopeless.
Don't say that, Robert. We'll manage some way. Won't we, Pat?
Well, I don't know what you can do, Miss Livingston. But I'll tell you right now, he's going to build his boat if it's the last thing I do.
You've been listening to Alice Faye, Richard Greene, and Brenda, Joyce, and scenes from Darrell F. Zanuck's production, Little Old New York. Little Old New York will have its world premiere at the Lincoln Theater in Miami, Florida, January 31st, and will open at the Roxy in New York City, February the 2nd. The part of Charlie, played by Fred McMurray in the picture, was enacted here tonight by Fred Mackay. And for good news, I wish to thank all the participants for a magnificent performance. My congratulations to Henry King, the director, and Raymond Griffith, associate producer. And now here's Warren Hull, who has taught many of us how to get our money's worth when we buy coffee.
Oh, thank you, Eddie. Friends, perhaps you've noticed that in some stores, bread that has been on the shelves for more than a day is called day-old bread and sells for reduced prices. Do you know why?
Of course, Mr. Hull. The bread isn't fresh any longer. That's why.
Exactly. But coffee, that's another of the perishables you buy. Can you judge its freshness by its price?
No, I guess not.
In fact, not until you brew coffee in your kitchen can you discover whether it is roaster fresh or whether its flavor has wasted away because for several days it was imperfectly protected from air. So, next time you buy coffee, remember this important scientific fact. Air steals away coffee flavor. All coffee, ground or in the whole bean, starts to lose flavor as soon as it's roasted, if exposed to the air. In fact, ground coffee, packed in ordinary containers where air can easily reach it, loses as much as 45%, nearly half its precious flavor, in only 9 days.
But how about Maxwell House?
Well, we think too much of this superb new Maxwell House blend to let one bit of its wonderful flavor and goodness escape. That's just why we take Maxwell House, still fresh and fragrant from the roasting ovens, and pack it in that familiar blue super vacuum can. No air can get in, so no flavor can get out. Maxwell House comes right into your kitchen with a full measure of fresh flavor and fragrance sealed in. None wasted. Yes, that's one of the outstanding values in every pound of Maxwell House coffee. One very good reason why Maxwell House gives you, Mrs. Consumer, so much for your money. So if you want to enjoy coffee goodness you may never have known before, and all the goodness you've paid to enjoy, ask for Maxwell House coffee tomorrow, won't you?
What is it, Snooks?
Do I have to go to school tomorrow?
Certainly you have to go to school.
Why?
Because tomorrow isn't a holiday. And besides, you need plenty of schooling.
She certainly does, Daddy.
Who asked you?
Yeah, who asked you?
Well, I don't want to be a Budinsky, but I think you should be ashamed. Your child can't even count up to 10.
I resent that. Snooks can count past 10. I taught her myself. Didn't I, Snooks?
Uh-huh.
Well, she couldn't do it 10 minutes ago. Let me hear you count, Snooks.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Go on.
5, 6, 7, 8.
Go on.
9, 10, Jack, Queen, King.
What?
Ace.
Well, that's fine counting. I can see why the child doesn't do very good in school.
Well, arithmetic is very difficult for children. But she does great in grammar and spelling.
Oh, go on. She can't even spell cat.
I can too. Cat. K-A-T.
Well, she got 2 letters right. Snooks, a cat is not K-A-T.
K-A-F?
Well, she's not very good at spelling, but her grammar is great.
I was waiting for that. Now, I've got a question that I'd just like to put in here and ask you.
I want to go home.
Now, wait a minute, Snooks. Let's hear the question the big professor has for you.
All right.
No prompting now, Daddy. Listen, Snooks. What's the plural of man?
Men.
How's that?
I'm not done yet. Snooks, what's the plural of child?
Twins.
Guess she don't know grammar, huh?
She certainly don't. And I know she can't punctuate.
She can punctuate as good as you can.
Okay. Snooks, write this sentence down as I give it to you. Why don't you try it too, Daddy?
Never mind that. Get ready to write, Snooks.
I ain't got no pencil.
Snooks, I ain't got no pencil.
I have no pencil.
Well, if nobody ain't got no pencil, let's go home.
Oh, come on.
Goodbye, Mr. Wilson.
Oh, you can't get nowhere with people like that.
All right, Professor. Get back on the stand and play.